Okay, so today we are going to do one of my favorite things. So anytime somebody new calls me up or somebody wants me to take a look at their GMB, it only takes me a few seconds to go through there and, see pretty much what needs to be done. But no matter what happens, we always do a GMB audit, Google My Business audit. So what is that? It is exactly what it sounds like. It's no different than auditing a checking account or anything else. You got to know what is going on in your Google My Business. The template that we use, and we're free to share that with you guys. Anybody that emails us, messages, contacts us in any way, we'll be happy to share that. So I'm going to show you a really simple one. We use one a little bit more complicated, but the one that I'm going to show you on PDF will work just perfectly fine. So I'm going to go through this and just kind of go through the highlights with you, because you need to do a GMB audit on yourself and see what's going on. Of course, if you followed any of my podcasts, any of my videos, screencast videos, it's all the same to me, then you're going to know everything starts with Google My Business. Website and Google My Business are one and the same to me. You can't have one without the other. So let's take a look at this simple PDF. And this is going to break down a Google My Business. And this is where I did one. And you want to take a look. Are you doing posts? Okay, well, this particular person had done 40. Not bad. You want to do that every single week. And we're going to just talk about these things as we're going through here. So the last one that was done was June 21st. All right, that's good. So, and because this is something that I pulled out of the file. So, I don't remember who this is on, but anyway, good job. Reviews 20. Okay, of course we want more than that. You can never have enough reviews. I don't care if you've got 500. I have actually seen some roofing companies that's got well over 11, 12, 1,300, which is amazing. So 20, build that up. Now, according to Local U, Mike Blumenthal, maybe even Joy Hawkins, I'm not sure. 10, you really need to get 10 before you really start getting a rankings boost for it. And, I've heard Mike Blumenthal talk about before, there is the law of diminishing returns hits in there. And I don't remember if he really says a number, 50, 60, 70. And then you're really not getting a rankings boost is what he's saying. I don't disagree with Mike very often, but I think that it probably still makes a difference even if you've got 150. It might not make as big a difference as the first 50, but I think that it's certainly going to make a difference. So you want to keep getting those, because even if the law of diminishing returns does set in and you've got 175 and you don't get quite the boost with Google, you still has a conversion element. So we want to be getting those. So our last review date was June the 3rd. Great. Response rate, 75%. Okay, we want to make sure that we're responding to all of them, but 75%, that's most businesses that I audit have not responded to any. So the last response date was February. Okay, all right, we've got a few that we need to take care of. Negative reviews, I don't think, now that I'm thinking about this, I don't think he had any. Positive review response, 75%. Profile was claimed, of course. Website address, and what that means is, let me just jump right over here right quick and let's get into the info section. So it's not just that you have a website, it's that you have the URL or the link from your website into your GMB, because you got to remember, Google crawls, they use URLs or website addresses, and they crawl into there and they look around, so to speak. And this is going to tell Google everything about you, who you are, what you do, and where you do it. Those are three critical things to rank and to get in front of the right person. So you'll see that this is not just a link to the Roof Crafters website, theroofcrafters.com. We've actually got it linked to the Hammond, Louisiana service page. And we'll get into that on a screencast that I'm going to do probably next week. But this is extremely important, because this is going to tell Google more about Roof Crafters in Hammond than it does just about Roof Crafters, period. So we've got our website in there. Our business hours, Google likes a well-optimized Google My Business. So description, we've got a description in there. Categories, that is going to be your primary category, your roofing contractor, and then your subcategories. That could be skylight contractor, waterproof contractor, siding, windows, whatever. It could be, if you're home improvement, it could be a lot of different trades. So make sure you've got all of your categories in there, because if you don't tell Google that you do these things, then they're not going to put you out there. So it is definitely beneficial to put all of the trades or all of the subcategories that you do. Cover photo, that is going to be a rare thing to see somebody actually do that. Profile photo, those are some things that, of course, we're going to do once we get our hands on a Google My Business. But those are some things that are good to do. Photo quality, this particular contractor had 223 photos in there. That is great. You want over 100. That is your first critical number. So last photo update was June. So this particular contractor is doing really good. So let me just show you the actual audit form that we use, because there's a lot of other things that you really want to take into account, like load speed on your pages, title tags, meta descriptions, and all these things. So these things are going to start getting in pretty deep, but what I just showed you is a good breakdown. And what that's going to do is pretty much going to coincide with what you're going to see in your info section, for one, and of course your products, photos, services, and all these things. All of these things need to be built out. So you'll see that the hours right here, and when I was talking about the primary category, roofing contractor is the #1 thing. You need to make sure you got that right. I saw a roofing company today, and I didn't understand. It was real estate consultant. Maybe so. Maybe they have rental properties. I don't know, but that one was pretty strange. But you want to make sure that your subcategories, like skylight contractor and installation, they do installation. So you want to make sure that you put those in there, because Google will feed you some of those leads. You want to make sure you got your service areas in there. Your hours are all set. Google likes a Google My Business that is well cared for. So you'll see that right now we're coming up on Labor Day. So you want to make sure that you've got your hours posted, closed or open. So call history. If you've got tracking numbers, now there's an on-off here. If you are using a tracking number like CallRail, I suggest that you keep your call history off right now. Google's got a bug. They're actually showing their own phone number, so that's going to be really problematic if you're doing a tracking number. So I would keep that off right now. It's only in beta in most areas anyway, I believe. So website address, make sure you got that in there. Hopefully you've got a service page. If you don't, then I'm going to do a podcast in a few weeks on what a service page is, what it should look like, and why it's so important. Appointment links. This is one place where a lot of people just throw the website address in there, and that's not what you're looking for here. You'll see that this is Acuity. Well, Acuity is a booking platform where you can actually click Tuesday at 9 o'clock in the morning, and they can just book straight through your website. So that's what Google is looking for right here. And products, I'm not going to show you products right here. You've got to sign up for Chuck's Pro Tips to see this one. According to Google, only 4% of businesses are using products. So if you want to really beat 96% of them out there, at least do your products. But I will gladly share some of these things. And it's not about what is in the products, because if you're an OC guy, obviously you're going to have Duration, Oak Ridge, and some other OC products, starters and stuff like that in there. But it's about the images and things like that. So I'm going to keep that little secret there. So services, you want to, this is something that Google is doing. And of course, you got to remember, Google's crawling through your GMB to your website. So things that are on your website could be suggested. So, my suggestion is accept the changes, even if you don't want them, and then go back in and delete them, and they shouldn't pop back up, because Google is going to, you'll see these in red, and it frustrates a lot of people, but Google's getting that information from somewhere. You got to remember that. Google doesn't just make up information. They could get it from your website. They could get it from other places that you might have information on. So, all of these services you might not actually do. You might have to go in there and delete those. So, of course, these are attributes right here. Do you do online estimates and on-site services and things like that? And then the last couple things, we talked about photos, and there's a photo section right here where you can add your photos. And this is going to be the description of the company. So these are the things that are a high-level overview. And then, of course, there's going to be things that are going to be getting deeper than that. We talked about posts. There's all kind of things that Google does with posts where they pull from posts, information from posts, and things like that. So I'm going to do more podcasts and screenscasts on some of these other things. But through posts, you can talk to your prospects and your leads. Not necessarily your clients at that point, but this is, Google My Business is out there to get you leads, get you prospects, and get you some contracts and some CCs going. So you want to talk to your potentials through Google Posts. Google Posts is a great tool. It's a great tool to get out there, put your good image in there. And it's also a place where Google gets information on you. So you could have information in a Google post, and then Google's going to come back and possibly change your services if you've got it in there. So this is, before I get too long, this is a quick Google My Business audit. So if you've got any questions about what's going on in GMB audit, or more questions about any of the services or any of these things related to GMB, your website, your service page, get in touch with us. We do have Chuck's tips. I love giving tips. I love talking to people about this. So anytime, message us through our website, raisetherank.com, and I'm always going to put a link at the bottom of these videos. And I will see y'all on the next one next week.